What's happening, y'all? We are live. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Hashtag Them Dragons. We are here to talk about the most recent episode of House of the Dragon, that hot D episode entitled The Burning Mill, Season 2, Episode 3. I'm your host, Lord Cussalot Travis Pointer, aka the Dragon King, aka Big T, aka T Money, aka Sweet T, aka Black Merlin, aka BHNIC. And I'm joined once again by my co-host, Mara, the motherfucking Shark Watkins. How you doing, Mara?
Hello. I'm okay.
Good,
Doing all
good.
right.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Recuperating.
So yeah, we are here to talk about this most recent episode of House of the Dragon. Before we really get into it, just give me, what are your overall thoughts? What did you think of it before we really get into the plot and all that?
Little messy at the end. A lot of revealing of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
verbally and physically.
Yes, Matt would have been, if he were here, he would have had to go ahead and tell us he was satisfied. He got what he wanted and more.
Right, and then some.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like, for me, it was like it was a quiet-ish episode, but I appreciate those, I guess, every once in a while. Since we're 3 episodes in, don't want too much too fast because that's how it gets stale. But so I liked it.
Okay.
It did what it needed to do.
I see. I liked it overall too. I like how this basically showed. Well, when we got to the end, they just seemed like they kind of came to the realization like we're too far gone now. War's coming. There's nothing we can do about it.
Right.
That's just what it is, and it's a sad situation for everyone involved because nobody's going to come out of this okay. It's just, it is
Everyone's
what
gonna
it
have a
is.
bad time.
What's that?
Everyone's gonna have a bad time.
Oh yeah, a very bad time. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into the plot. We can just go ahead and talk about what happened in this episode, all right? So, right off the bat, I noticed something this episode that I guess I wasn't paying attention to last week. I'm sure they did it then too. But in the opening credits, like they're adding stuff on as like and changing stuff. And I'm like, oh, I didn't see that before. They were doing that before. Okay, cool. So this week they added on the whole, what was it? Now I'm blanking. The funeral stuff, I think it was. Was that what they added on? What did they
I
add on?
think so. The processional or something like
Yeah,
that.
they had. I forgot what it was. Whatever it was, I'm like, oh, that was from last episode. Okay, I see. So I think it's cool that they're doing that. It's a good way to, keep the opening credits interesting. Kind of like in Game of Thrones, how they would change things up depending on what the whole state of the kingdom was. It was cool.
Yeah, and that was kind of like when they started with that on the first episode. I was saying I was hoping that they would continue to add on to it as the story goes on and on. So good to see that they are doing that.
So we kick off the actual episode itself with the Brackens and the Blackwoods are having an argument. I don't know which one is which or what side which is on because, quite frankly, it doesn't really matter. The Blackwoods are on one side, the Brackens are on the other. I think the Blackwoods are with Team Black, and the Brackens are Team Green. I'm not positive. I could have that backwards, but in the end, it doesn't really even matter.
Tell us in the comments, please.
Yeah, let me know because I've forgotten already. But basically, their whole thing goes back way back before any of this. So it was just one of those things that they're on opposite sides of this thing. It's just an excuse for them to get into a fight again. And fight they did. And this is the what happened. It was at the Burning Mill, as this episode was called. It was a little thing over some rocks got moved or some shit. and they're like, "You're in our this is our land." And you're like, "No, this is our land." And then like, "You with that queen?" You're like, "Well, no, you with the real king." And pull the sword, and we cut away. We come back. They're just bodies everywhere, just everywhere. And they mentioned it later on in the episode, but it's just like they would have fought anyway. Like this is just what it is. But
yeah,
also,
like Rhaenyra and Aegon
yeah, like
dancing at each other. They're just like, you know what? This is a great time to start some shit.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing is, though, what it really signifies, though, is blood has been spilt in this already. Like battles have been fought. This shit has started, whether you want it to or not. And whatever happens now is what's gonna happen now. We can't put the genie back in the bottle now. It's already out.
Right. And I feel like Rhaenys also dotes on that at some point in the episode. She was just like, why this even started, will be at some point lost.
Yeah.
To history. Anyway.
Yeah, they talk about it later. We can mention that now, but she does go into a whole thing talking to Rhaenyra when she's just like, "Yo, when talking about who's to say when this all started? Did it start, when you cut that? Well, not you, but when Aegon's kid had his head cut off, or did it start, when Aemon killed Luke, or did it start when Aemon got his eye took out? Like, when did this all really start? What can you really say? It's
right.
Who's gonna
did
remember
it start
what
when your
really
dad
happened?
married your best friend? Like,
yeah, it's just like at this point, it doesn't matter how it fucking started. We need to put a stop to it because
it's not going to be
not,
good.
we are all fucked. So, but speaking of Rhaenyra, this is kind of not on the subject of what we're talking about here, but it's something that I saw. Cosmopolitan put something out recently. It was like right before the season started about what age all the characters are. Because I remember we were talking about that on a previous podcast.
Oh yeah, because it's kind of like, how old are you? And like, you still look like
yeah. So I got some of them here. These are the age that they're supposed to be at the start of this season. Okay.
Oh boy.
In the show, not in the books. In the books, a lot of them are considerably younger. But in the show, Rhaenyra is 32.
Oh hey, 32. Hey, damn. I couldn't imagine having this many kids by 32.
Daemon is 48. Alicent is 37. So she's 5 years older than Rhaenyra.
Okay. That makes it like that kind of seems on par.
Mm-hmm. Criston Cole is 39. Here's when it gets interesting.
And he's so stupid.
Lord Corlys Valerian.
Oh,
how old would you guess he's supposed to be?
$53.
Higher.
64.
Higher.
72.
75.
Oh, so close.
After multiple guesses. But yeah.
Yes. That didn't matter. I was getting there.
So with that in mind, Rhaenys Targaryen.
60.
70.
Okay, well, I mean, good for them.
The way they moving around at 70 is interesting.
Right?
Otto Hightower.
91.
No, 55.
What? Get the fuck out of here. There is no way you're telling me that man has been the hand to 3 fucking kings. And he is younger than Corlys Valerian.
That's what, look, don't take it up with me. Take it up with Cosmopolitan.
Their math does not make sense.
Aegon is 18.
Okay, I was going to give him 16, but that's fair.
Aemond is 16.
which is still odd because Aemon looks older than Aegon.
Helena is 17.
Yes.
Jace is 16.
At least these sound right, or was 16.
Yeah, and then Bela 16 as well. That's the last one they got on here. Is Bela
Okay.
16. But I thought that was interesting to see, because like I remember us talking about, how old are these motherfuckers in.
Well, now I'm curious to know how old Viserys was
Yeah, old as
at
fuck.
TOD.
Nigga's face was falling off and shit. So it was like
That
he was
could have.
literally like missing his like the whole jaw and shit. Like
I know he kind of looked like what's his face from Skyfall.
I haven't seen Skyfall.
Oh, Jesus.
No, I don't think Jesus was in Skyfall.
No, I know. Trying to remember his Javier Bardem, I think it was, who played him.
That doesn't help me. But back to the plot of this episode though.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's
Trying
good.
to just find a picture. Oh, here it is.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Kinda. But Viserys had that piece of the jaw just missing. It just wasn't there.
No, I know.
Like
It's
no
just
skin, just jawbone on the inside and shit. But yeah, I see your point. So we after this we're burying the twins, Eric and Eric.
Mm-hmm.
And right after this is when
Luke's not happy about it though.
You said what?
Luke wasn't happy about it.
Luke
because he was like not Luke. Jace wasn't happy about it.
Yeah.
Because he was just like, the other one's a traitor. Why are we burying them together? He soils this grave.
So yeah, this is when what we talked about earlier happens when Rhaenys talks to Rhaenyra, and she's just like, yo, who can really say when all this shit really started? So she's like trying to encourage her to seek peace with Alicent, because that's the one person you'd be able to talk to right now. If you can talk to anybody, it would be her. I know it might be far-fetched, but that's the one you need to try to talk to somehow.
She's the weakest link of them all.
Well, it's not even a weak link thing. It's
No,
just like where it's just like she's the one you have a history with and all that. All the rest of them want you dead. So
right, because they've been misinformed by this hussy,
who is also misinformed because she just
stupid.
Yeah. So then we get a small council meeting. Criston's first small council meeting as Hand of the King, and he's not okay. He's like hyperventilating and shit before he go in there.
Because he know he doesn't deserve this job.
And knows that he can't do it properly.
like he knows like he was just given that job to spite Otto.
He happened to be in the room. Like that's really what it was.
It's just like we just lucky, I guess, that Laris wasn't the one who was in the room at the time.
I mean, it would probably be better for the Greens if he was, but and during this particular small council meeting, they're talking about their future plans and what they want to do. Criston has just a very dumb, shitty plan. I'm gonna ride on out, and we gonna take this and this with this small company here. We gonna take Harrenhal, and Alicent is just like, you dumb motherfucker.
Like, she's like, you're yeah, because I mean, she made a point like when he was just like, so all right, fuck that plan up, and she was like, because you did it so hastily, you did no planning, you didn't think to check who was there, what could possibly go wrong. You just went in guns blazing.
Basically, and he was like, the gods favor the bold. Like, yeah, okay. But yeah, did you also get the feeling that their argument that was happening here was because they just frustrated they can't be fucking right now?
Probably.
But moving on off of this, back on Dragonstone, we got Spy Girl talking to Ray Ray because she was like, appreciate you letting us know what was up, and she was like, so was there a reward? She's like, oh, you want a reward? She's like, well, I thought you would offer one. First of all, saved your fucking life, but like, well,
Don't
what do
you
you
think?
want? She was like, I want a place in your court. And, of course, Ray was all like, well, a while ago you were trying to get up out of here. And she was like, yeah, but you're the only one out of these royals that has ever actually shown me real like kindness or mercy in any way. So I'm gonna stay here.
Hey, she's not stupid. She's
At
old,
all.
but she's not stupid.
So this was my favorite part of the episode, Mara.
Oh boy.
And I'll tell you why. Day arrives at Harrenhal. And he Dragonlands and all the folks in there tripping. They're going crazy. Dragon, blah, blah, blah. That's not the good part. My favorite part is when he's walking through the halls with his sword drawn and shit, looking around. Ain't nobody around. He just he ready to kill nobody. And then bursts into I guess their dining hall or whatever. And he's like, I'm claiming Harrenhal. And dude,
He's like, well, seems like it.
Like apparently so. It's just like we ain't trying to fight you. Just come on in.
Twitter was like, if I send you this picture, it means I don't want no problems.
And that is 100% this man's energy. He's like, I want no smoke with you. I don't fuck with Lars. I don't fuck with the Greens. Like, I'm with you.
Oh, he came at Lars himself, too, with his about his foot. That shit had me weak.
Oh yeah, Clubfoot Strong is what he called. Well, it was Lars Clubfoot. He called him.
Yeah. Hold. Twitter caught that too. Lars Clubfoot is Lord of mine.
Oh man, so good, so good.
But and there was go ahead. A lot of people. I didn't catch it. I didn't catch a screenshot of it, but there was one tweet that was like, my dude said, we got. He's like, I'm taking Harrenhal, and my dude was just like, yeah, sure, we got some pizza and some Diet Pepsis in the fridge upstairs.
Yeah, he's like, was it venison and peas and some shit? But yeah, it was 100%. It's like, yeah, eat it.
But apologize for not having red currant to go with it.
Meet a dragon and say that to the dragon's face.
Yeah, that's crazy. Can't just say a dragon's a big lizard. Lizards also don't fly.
We appreciate the support, Will. Boost that algorithm.
Drop the comments. For the win is to Ginger Ninja.
Welcome, sir. Welcome. But this whole interaction was fun for me though, because Daemon's all still in the whole time just like, I'm not gonna let you get me with poison, blah blah blah, and like, poison, really? He's like, that's the best way to kill a dragon, right? I'm like, you still ain't figured out, like, bruh. They are not against you. Like, he went into this whole thing about how, just...
I'm a dummy. I did get a screenshot of that tweet. I have so many windows open right now. Daemon, I am taking this castle. Sir Simon Strong, okay. There's beer in the fridge and I got pizza on the way.
Yeah, and he was just like, listen, you really think how there's never been a fire here, like, ever. And you see this place is like dripping with water all the time. It's just perpetually wet. You think it just spontaneously caught on fire? Like, ain't no way. Ain't no fucking way.
I like how I like that they came back around to that, because I felt like that whole transpiration of like the Strongs, being murdered. I was just like, how did we do this?
Yeah.
Even though we knew this was obviously murder, but
but it's good to know other people were suspicious, because
it kind of just feels like that story, or that part of the story kind of has come full circle. Is like they've addressed it.
Mm-hmm. And also just seeing the state of Harrenhal now is just like, yo, this place is just all fucked up. Gesundheit.
Thank you. That felt so good.
um, moving forward though, we got some more of Alicent and Criston, Cece. They doing a little bit more bickering back and forth before he leaves, and also Alicent's brother arrives. Gwaine is his name,
Yeah.
and he's a cocky little shit.
Queen.
But still haven't figured out if I, actually dislike him or if I enjoy the fact that he's fucking with Criston all the time. Like,
It's kind of almost like you would think that, like, I wonder after like the last episode,
sure, talk about
when
Dragon Tales all you want, man.
Dragon Tales, wow. Okay.
My mom used to watch Dragon Tales.
It was a good show.
It was
I
so
wish
random because I guess it was because my niece used to watch it because my niece was living with us for a while and she would watch it, on the weekends in the mornings. And my mom would watch it with her. But then there'd be days when my niece wasn't there, and my mother would still just be watching Dragon Tales.
it's a cute show. I kind of low key wish that like Luna had gotten more into it. Like she kind of like did her best to kind of skip over PBS shows outside of Elmo. But
we love
I
you
just
too,
kind of
Will.
I really wish she had gotten into Dragon Tales. I thought it was such a cute show.
But also during this exchange, CC asked Alicent to for her favor, which is her titty napkin, and she gave it to him, acting like she didn't want to, but she just, yeah, gave him the titty napkin, and then he was like, "Thank you very much," and went on about his day.
He's a whole weirdo for that, and that's why he's a whole incel.
Mm-hmm. So also,
despite the fact that he was having sex.
We got Loras and Aegon having a little talk because Aegon's in there trying on King Aegon the First armor, Aegon the Conqueror's armor, and trying to look all big and bad. Like yeah, I'm gonna go out to fight on my dragon because that's what they were arguing about in the small council was him going out to fight and all that shit. Like we got to be bold and blah blah blah. And I'm like, you a dumbass, but okay.
He trying to be as fierce as the rest of them.
Yeah, I guess. But Loras basically manipulates him into thinking like, oh, maybe I shouldn't go anywhere. I'll stay here. Yeah.
Because your mom's gonna try and run things if you go.
Yeah, that's what the people are saying, Yeah, basically. Go ahead and read it to him.
Lord Laris, the streets saying you a punk ass stupid bitch. The streets are also Lord Laris. Because like as soon as Aegon was like, oh, who speaks of these lies? He was like, oh, it doesn't matter. And I was like, not the messiest bitch in this show saying that little bit of detail don't matter. Instantly, I was like, oh, it's you. You said that.
That does happen. They do fuck a lot. So after all this, Aegon was like, my father said he didn't have a use for a master of whispers, but I think I do. You keep feeding me the tea, It's
always funny when the master of whispers continues to be a man.
When what?
Master of whispers is always a man.
Oh yeah.
But yet women talk too much.
Eddie Murphy isn't in this show, unfortunately.
I was like, I almost was like, excuse me, what are you saying about Eddie Murphy? And then I realized.
Yeah.
I remembered.
Yeah. But after this though, we get Aegon talking to his guard, and they're just telling him like, "Yo, we got this new one in. He needs to be bedded in. Basically, instead of getting jumped in, we go and get him a hoe." and get him laid before we get him in. And he was like, "But you take a vow of abstinence." Like, and they're like, "Right."
I feel like we are
Chastity,
gonna
not abstinence.
watch.
Yeah.
I feel like we are gonna watch a lot of people test Aegon as like his seriousness as king, because with like even like in small council, like when he was saying he was as fierce as any of them, like you can see there's like a lack of we're taking that serious.
Yeah. Don't nobody
And
respect
then
Aegon.
yeah, and then to like see like your Kingsguard or whatever, like even they're just like, yeah, of course we're upholding chastity, but
Yeah,
these but
your hand of the king, formerly Lord Commander of the King's Guard, is definitely not fucking your mother right now.
yeah, it's just like, and also like a lot of these Kingsguard also look like around Aegon's age, like they're probably former buddies.
Right.
So they're just like, yeah, of course we are.
So yeah, then we get the scene with a dude in a tavern who's basically claiming to be a bastard Targaryen. I don't know where this is going or what they're planning to do because I don't remember him from the books.
I definitely first thought that they were alluding to like he was one of Aegon's bastards, because remember like from last season, because I think he had like a bunch of like bastards from the whorehouse.
Yeah, but this dude wouldn't count. He's like clearly way older than him though.
Yeah, that's why I was just like, that's why I was just like, this is weird now. What do you mean you're a Targaryen?
Yeah. So you think he was the bastard son of Baelor the Bold, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody's just like, yeah, okay, bro. And
When
luckily,
pigs fly.
Aegon walks in after he has said all this, and not while
Could
he
you
was in the
imagine?
midst.
Could you imagine, like, if he
Yeah,
had still been saying it?
yeah. This dude clearly has some kind of role to play in the future, though. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but he's going to end up being something or somebody. Because maybe he is actually the bastard son of Baelor the Bold. Who knows?
I wonder how they would determine that, like, back then.
I mean, if
Clearly
he
they
can
don't.
ride a dragon,
Then yeah, I guess you gotta have dragon's blood in you.
yeah. So Aegon walks in. He's just like, "All right, I'm buying a round for everybody in the tavern. Just drinks on the king." And
How can you get mad at that?
you can't. I mean, I'd drink it. Like, all right, cool. Even if I really don't fuck with you like that, you buying the drinks? All right. I'm not
I
turning
feel
down
like
free drinks.
Biden would do that and then forget 30 seconds later that he said he would do that. And
Probably.
then so
Well, Trump would
when
do it and then 10 minutes later say he didn't do it. So
they
results
would
stay
have
the
they
same.
they would have video feedback, like playback, and he'd be like, I never said that. That could be AI.
Yeah, exactly.
And the amount of time it would take to determine whether or not it was real, the bar would be like, could you just please pay your tab?
Let's just move on.
Please. It's $20.
While while Aegon is in here though, we see a lot here. We got
Boy, did
plenty.
we see a lot.
We got titties. We got full oral with mouth on dick. But then we see that Aegon comes across his brother Aemon being cuddled, and instead of supporting his younger brother and giving him some love, he decides to go in there and make fun of him and try to make him feel shitty. Bruh.
Yeah, so
We got
so Aegon pulls the curtain, and Aemond is like again naked. So we see our frail Voldemort looking do it again.
The way they revealed everything though was so funny to me. Because first he stands up and his back is to the camera, right? So you just get the like, you know, the balls from the back. That's all you're able really to see. But then he continues, you know, to talk and say, like, yeah, just remaining calm, not, you know, going off or anything like that. But then turns around and we get full frontal Aemon.
Like just everything.
Yeah. Full
Like just
frontal, all dick and balls out of Aemon Targaryen. I was not prepared for full frontal on Aemon.
Neither was I. Aemon began this episode. I wonder, like, when they casted him, did they say, like, so, hey, I hope you just know that you're probably going to get spoken about on the internet. You're going to be naked a lot.
Yeah. You're going to be dick out, you know, just
everything. So prepare your family. You're going to go viral.
So we also get, after this whole exchange, Ray finally reads the message that was sent to her from Alicent. We don't get to see exactly what it says, but we see she reads the message. We don't know what's going to happen after this, but we imagine that there's going to be some reminiscing and thinking about the good old days.
Back when things were just easy.
Yeah. Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I sit and wish I was a kid again. So, Criston and company, you know, CC and his boys, including Gwen, they're on the ride. And, you know, Gwen's just like, yo, there's a tavern or an inn or whatever, like 2 miles away. We can go and stay there, chill before we, you know, go and attack this other place. And Criston's like, we can't be doing that. We gotta be, you know, vigilant and yada yada yada. And Gwen's like, man, it'll be fine. We're good. And right after that, Cece looks up, sees Dragon, and says, oh shit, we gotta run. And Bela is up there on Dragonback, sees them, and of course she says, yeah, I'm gonna get these niggas.
Oh, even though took off.
Even though Rhaenyra told her last episode, do not engage, she said, fuck that. Like, I'm going to get them.
Twitter was like, Dragon said to itself, I smell bitch ass niggas in the air. And then said, hey, they're them bitch ass niggas.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Around like, that other meme, like, smell like bitch in here. Like,
I saw another tweet that had like almost like the laser focus logo on Bela's eye, just like Bela was like almost like she spotted him with like a scope in her own eye.
Mm-hmm.
The way she saw like their armor reflecting.
Yeah. And that whole time, I'm like, oh, get one of them. Just at least get one of them. But we ain't getting none. They get into the woods and they are able to hide amongst the trees, and she really can't catch them. She's like, all right, I'm gonna let this go since I really wasn't supposed to engage them anyway. She go ahead and flies back.
We're getting dragon activity though, which makes me happy.
Yeah. And you know, she ends up going back, tells Ray what she saw. She was like, I told you not to get too close. Like, I didn't get too close, you know. If I got close, I would have got them niggas though. Like,
she said if I was gonna engage, they would have been dead.
Mm-hmm. So back to Harrenhal. Day is like trying to, you know, get ready for bed and shit, and he sees footsteps outside his door after he's noticed like the roof is leaking and shit. The whole fucking castle is just in shambles, and there's like banging on the door that's being held closed by swords because they would fly open, I guess, otherwise. And he
Oh,
goes to
I
the
thought
door.
to protect themselves.
Well, no, it's just because the place is falling apart. Because normally they have things specifically meant to hold doors closed if they need to be held closed like that. But this place doesn't because it's just falling apart. And grabs his sword, steps out the door. He don't see nobody. He goes, stalking through the castle, and he sees a young Rhaenyra and the dead baby Targaryen. She's sewing the baby's head back on.
Yeah, he fucking tripping.
Yeah, yeah. I'm kind of like he also after this sees, the dead wife, the first dead wife, not the second one that also died, the one that he actually killed.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying this is definitely what it is, but I'm starting to think maybe like this might be some of that, that Targaryen madness they talk about because the whole thing they say is when a Targaryen is born, the gods flip a coin, and they're either you see whether or not they're going to be mad, and if one of the Targaryens in this show was going to be the one that's mad, I'd put my money on Daemon.
Yeah. The "you're gonna die" here thing, I was just like, damn, that's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, that sucks.
Something's gonna happen at Harrenhal.
Yeah, but that's the whole thing behind Harrenhal. Like even on Game of Thrones, they say that place is cursed. Anybody who's the Lord of Harrenhal, shit goes wrong for him. So later on, we got Ray talking to Spy Girl, tell her she wants to get a face to face with Alicent. Because like, what did she do about her day? When will she ever be alone? She was like, there's only one point where she's ever actually alone, and we find out later it's because when she's in the sept praying and all that. And they get her this face to face, or side face to side face, And this is when I'm watching this and I'm like, you didn't think this through at all. What did you expect to happen? So she goes in there. She kneels next to Alicent. She's disguised as a sept. Sept, I mean.
Yep. Rhaenyra making her way into King's Landing. Looking like Sister Act.
Yeah. Good old Hoopy. That's my grandma.
I won't lie, though.
It's called a Hoopy.
Rhaenyra, serving face.
I mean, all you were able to see was the face. So, yeah.
But you looked good doing it.
Mm-hmm. So she kneels next to Alicent, and for some reason is pulling out a knife. I imagine just to make sure that she doesn't try to run away. But she's like, "Don't go nowhere." And Alicent is like, "So what do you think's gonna happen?" He's like, "Well, if you try to run, your guards might come in and get me and kill me and all that, but you'll die first." So
it's just like either way.
So you just kneel right here. You're gonna talk to me.
We gonna talk this out.
Yeah. So they start going back and forth. It's at first it's the bickering thing, but then they actually start to have a conversation, and it comes out what Alicent actually heard Viserys say, because everybody just was like she just told everybody, I heard him say that Aegon is his heir. Nobody knows exactly what was said, and then Rhaenyra wants to know what the exact words were because she's she doesn't believe it, but I'm sure she still has some doubts that maybe Viserys did change his mind, so she wants to hear exactly what was said because she imagines that Alicent won't actually lie to her. At least that's how I saw it.
No, yeah, I get that. Like I was saying, like she never said fully, like she's like. Because I feel like it was the first time she had said to someone, he wasn't like clear as to what he was talking about. Like he was, he's high as fuck, but he's also like dying. So it's just like he was just saying stuff, and then
I was able to pick stuff out when he's like, the prince that was promised Aegon, all that kind of stuff, and you're like, wait a minute, like her face, like wait, he said what? He said those words, the prince that was promised. And there's one of those things
that was priceless.
Exactly. That was that face like
It was at
She
this
looked at him
moment
like,
she knew Alicent was a dumb bitch.
yeah, that was that moment when she was like, motherfucker, what?
She was just like, there's no fucking way. There's no fucking way.
This whole thing is because she didn't know. Wait, hold on.
Because
So he
she knows.
told you about the Song of Ice and Fire. And of course, Alicent has no idea what the fuck she's talking about.
She's like, you sound as crazy as he does.
She was like, yo, that's a story my father used to tell about King Aegon, which the way that she describes it means she doesn't really believe it either. But it was just one of those things like, this is a story that my father used to tell. Because he would say, like, you know, the prince, or, you know, that was promised supposed to come from your line. And yeah, like I said, she probably didn't really believe it either, but she was just like, I know it's a story he told, and that's what you fucking heard.
And then you sat here and thought that applied to your son. Alicent, when Rhaenyra told her she had the wrong Aegon.
My thing though is, after this happens, I want to know what Rhaenyra thought was going to happen when she talked to Alicent. That they were going to talk, and Alicent just was going to be like, "Okay, here you can have the throne." Like,
yeah, it's like at this point now, girl, you should have just snuck in and killed Aegon.
and
yourself.
It's just like, even afterwards, she's like, "Okay, so now we know that you were wrong about this. So make him give me the throne back." And she was like, "What?"
She was like, why would I do that though? It's too late.
It is far too late. Even if she wanted to, like, I can't do that shit. Like, I have no power anymore. Like, the little power I had was through my father. He ain't hand of the king no more.
She's just like, I ain't got shit. I'm just here.
This thing is being run by petulant children. Like, this is who is running things now.
She's
and by
like,
petulant children, I mean 39-year-old Criston Cole and my son.
You would think that, like, he was also like a teenager, the way he reacted.
Yeah.
But Twitter was not having it with Alicent being like, well, whatever. Me, when I realized that all the dragons are gonna die because Alicent refuses to reveal the truth after she realizes her mistake.
The problem is, though, I don't think even if she did, it would make a fucking difference. Like, I truly believe the rest of them would be like, well, shit. Especially Aegon. I'm like, well, I'm king now. I didn't want to do this shit.
I'm already here.
I'm here now. I'm not about to give this shit up now. Are you crazy? Especially like after, as far as he's concerned, they killed his son. Like, nah, yeah. This shit has already too far gone. And like we mentioned at the beginning of this episode, there's already been a bloody ass battle over this. Like,
there's no going back.
There is no going back. This is what it is now. And we just got to live with it and hope that it doesn't completely go to shit. Spoiler alert, it's going to completely go to shit. By the way, this meeting between the two of them was not in the books. Because remember, I told y'all the way that the books, this book that is based on Fire and Blood, is just it's basically a historical account. So all that's really in there is what's officially written in the histories, and all the real dramatic stuff and all that really didn't pertain to the facts of history weren't really in there, except when they benefited certain people. And this is one of those things where it kind of makes sense that this wouldn't be here, because nobody would ever know that these two met. Just like how
true, that makes sense.
It's like how Valerian, Ray-Ray's first husband, Leroy, whatever the fuck his name was. The fact that he wasn't actually, Laenor, yeah. The fact that he actually escaped and left and wasn't actually dead. In the books, they said that he was killed because that's what everybody believed.
Correct.
So just like this, nobody would know they actually met. So in the historical accounts, it wouldn't be there.
It makes sense, and especially now that like, and that's why it even goes further. It's just like, what did you think would happen once she admitted that, like, yeah, fuck this up?
Yeah. So, and that was the end. Like that was it for the episode. Like, we're fucked. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, like, it's gonna get worse. It's
Yeah.
gonna get bad.
Yeah. 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 You got any more tweets?
No, that was the majority of them.
Okay. So I'll ask you this then, because we haven't done this since this season started. I forgot. Who's winning in this episode? Who's winning?
I just feel like no one's a winner right now. I'm gonna go with Sir Simon Strong.
I can see why.
Because he wants no beef.
Yeah.
He won. He's still alive after calling Daemon my prince twice.
Fucking up. That's the thing too, though. He was technically right. Daemon was just, kind of pushing things. Because I think, as far as this all is concerned, at this point, he's the consort, so he's not actually king. So yeah, he would still be known as Prince Aemon, kind of like how Alicent wouldn't actually be queen. She would be the consort. So it's one of those things where she had his babies is there. She's his husband and all that, but she's still not actually queen. That's why they never refer to her as Your Grace. But at least that's my understanding of it. I could be wrong. This happened once before. But
then two, he's gonna like Damon's like, we gonna build this place back up. So kind of his home might get rebuilt. Might get some TLC.
Yeah. I'm gonna stick with the Strong family. I'm gonna give it to Larys because he got what he wanted.
He got into the king's ear.
Like looking at this episode, the only one that really got what they wanted was Larys Strong.
So the Strongs are still going strong.
For now. We never meet any of them in Game of Thrones. So
right? The bloodline that apparently gets wiped. I mean, that makes sense. I don't see Larys out here having children.
It's fair.
Then Simon's, like, if those other people were any of his children, they were not giving, we're continuing a bloodline.
Oh, we forgot to mention the whole thing of them sending Rhaena away with the eggs and the little babies and shit. Interesting. They sent her away with the eggs, and they're going to Pentos, which is where we meet Dany in Game of Thrones. But there's 3 eggs, not 4.
So one of them's gonna hatch.
Something's gonna happen to one of the. Either it's gonna hatch or something's gonna happen to it.
Yeah.
So I'm not even sure if those are those eggs, but it would make sense if they were, because they're going to Pentos. That's where those eggs were. We'll see.
I always find myself looking at the Targaryen family tree. I'd be like, who went where? I don't know. These are dragons.
What's the family tree going to tell you about the eggs, though?
Nothing. I just like looking at like what's coming.
Oh, okay.
But because like when you mentioned Pentos, you said that's where we meet Dany in Game of Thrones, and I was like, well,
she wasn't born there.
Like, where was she born?
She was born on Dragonstone. Remember, there was a whole thing, and they escaped to Pentos afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She was born during the storm on Dragonstone.
But I did find a dragon family tree, if you want to see it.
Sure.
Gotta love people who are dedicated to doing it. So I see sea smoke. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I see sea smoke here. Here's Cyrax and Vermax, Tyraxes, Stormcloud.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it doesn't say where the fourth egg lands off with. Or maybe it's one of these.
Because, yeah, one of them is one that Daemon found.
Oh, okay.
That somebody had already laid. I forgot who had laid that egg. But the other three, they already had.
Got you. So, yeah, this, I mean, is Moon Dancer there yet?
Moon Dancer is, I think, Bayless Dragon.
Okay. I was like, because I feel like I had heard one of the dragons hadn't shown up yet. But yeah, no, that's the one that's Bayless Dragon.
Mm-hmm.
But okay.
So, Mar, time to rate this episode. Out of 5 dragons, what are you giving it?
I'll give it 3 and a wing.
I like this episode a lot. I'm gonna give it 4 dragons. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Even with Alicent being a dumbass, I enjoyed this episode. I'm glad they finally had that conversation and somebody finally realized she was fucking up. She wasn't being manipulative. She wasn't being evil or anything like that. She was just fucking up.
Because I feel like, I guess, yeah, because there would be no other way to, like, resolve them hearing that, I guess, before one of them dies in this war. Because how could they not?
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
So I look forward to next week.
Me too. Me too. Well, that's going to be it for this week's episode of Hashtag Them Dragons, y'all. Do not forget, if you're not watching this live, you can do so. You can do it on Twitch at twitch.tv/creationworld. And while you're there, subscribe. You can subscribe for free if you have Prime Gaming. You know how you get Prime Gaming? You take your Amazon account, you take your Twitch account, you put them together, Fusion High, and that gives you Prime Gaming. That gives you a free subscription every month. We'd appreciate you giving it to us. You can also watch us live on YouTube at youtube.com/creationworld. And while you're there, you can actually subscribe for free. Doesn't cost you anything. You just click the subscribe button and it helps us out a whole lot. And next to that subscribe button is a little bell. And hanging from that bell is a little bean. So you know what I want you to do? I want you to flick that bean. You do that, you get notified every time we go live, every time we drop a new video, all that good stuff. And we'd appreciate you hanging out with us for that. Also, you can support us financially on Patreon at patreon.com/creationworld. You go there, you get a lot of extra cool stuff. You know, you think things like Multiverse. Myself and Mara the Shark Watkins, we're watching old, not necessarily old, but animated DC movies, animated comic book movies in general. We just did Batman, Superman, Battle of the Super Sons. Yes. Fun movie. We enjoyed that, even though we didn't like the animation style as much. But the movie itself, the story, all that was good. So next month, we're doing Superman Unbound, so that's going to be fun. Also, you get shows like Return to Wrestling with myself and the Warden Matt Ritter. We're going through old WCW stuff, starting with the very first Monday Nitro, working our way through all the way through the Monday Night Wars, one pay-per-view at a time. We just did World War III 1998, and coming up is Starrcade 1998. It's going to be a good time. Hang out for that as well. And you can find links to everything we do at creationworld.com. You can also follow us on all the socials, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at It's Creation World. That is at ITSCREATIA World. Also on Facebook at facebook.com/Creation World. And while you're on Facebook, you should join the Facebook group for this podcast, facebook.com/group/Them Dragons. Hang out with us, talk about the show. If you're a fan of Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, all that good stuff, or just dragons in general, just have the conversations with us, share the cool, funny memes, have a good time with us. Now, if you're a wrestling fan, a great place for you to be is facebook.com/group/Smacking It Raw. It is the official Facebook group for the Smacking It Raw podcast, the #1 wrestling podcast on all the spicy sites. We like to foster a fun-loving environment that's free of all the drama and nastiness that the typical internet wrestling community seems to fester. We don't tolerate that shit. So it's a great place to be. You can follow me on all the socials, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff, at Lord_Cussalott. That is at LORD_CUSSALOTT. Mara, where can they find you?
All of those same places at Mara the Shark, MARADASHARK.
Thank you very much.
Those are fireworks, I swear.
Sure. That's going to be it for tonight, though. We'll catch y'all next time. Until then, we out.
Bye.